6 a.m., transport in parts of Thika had almost completely grounded to a halt. The normally busy routes connecting Nairobi to Thika were overwhelmed by stalled vehicles, stranded passengers and blocked roads as demonstrations over rising fuel prices intensified. Protesters erected barricades on several roads, forcing motorists to either turn back or remain stuck in traffic. At Mukuyu Market in the Alpha area, thick smoke rose into the morning sky after protesters lit bonfire along sections of the Murang'a-Nairobi highway. Burning tires and stones scattered across the road created a tense atmosphere, with many residents choosing to remain indoors as uncertainty grew. Parents were urged to keep their children at home amid fears the demonstrations could escalate further during the day. For thousands of commuters heading to Nairobi for work, school and business, the morning quickly turned into a nightmare. Matatus disappeared from many stages, leaving passengers stranded in cold weather as crowds gathered at bus stops hoping for any available transport.
Hapa ni Makongeni stage. Hakuna magari, sijui kwani zimeenda wapi. Zote zimelala. I don't know. Wewe Jobu, habia kuna magari?
Hakuna.
Na ulikuwa unaenda Nairobi, sasa utaenda aje? Unasikia via saa hii mwenye anaenda Nairobi unaigizwa lao. Imagine now. Hai?
Some commuters were forced to walk long distances after transport operations stalled completely in several sections of Thika and surrounding areas. Thika quickly emerged as the main hotspot of the demonstrations. Videos and images from the area showed smoke from burning barricades spreading across the highway. In Kitengela and Kasarani, the situation also disrupted transport operations as tension spread beyond Thika. Commuters reported delays, fewer public service vehicles, and uncertainty over whether transport would fully resume during the day. The impact of the protest was also felt outside Nairobi. Security officers maintain presence in several areas while traders and residents watch events unfold cautiously. The fear was not only about blocked roads but also the unpredictability surrounding how quickly demonstrations could spread. In Nakuru, there were no major protests reported during the morning hours, but the atmosphere remained tense. Some political leaders had early warned young people against participating in demonstrations, though many residents feared protests could still erupt later in the day. Across several towns, businesses operated cautiously while transport operators monitored the situation closely. The demonstrations were largely driven by frustration over the rising cost of fuel, which has continued to affect transport fares, food prices, and the overall cost of living. For many commuters and small business operators, the transport paralysis added another layer of economic pressure to an already difficult situation. Last week in Mombasa, President William Ruto held a meeting with matatu operators. The meeting became a turning point after transport operators announced the suspension of the strike that had paralyzed transport in the country.
Mine today is very little. Is to announce to all our members, especially our investors and drivers and conductors, that after these good deliberations we have had with His Excellency, we are saying that the strike that we had suspended has been called off fully, and we are hoping that this will take immediate effect. Everybody to return the vehicles on the road, and for the entire country to understand that I think there is an economy here to save, and we are all looking forward to His Excellency to ensure that he drives the agenda of public transport. We have been promised a lot of things, including the electric motor vehicle. Your Excellency, I was on the task force for electric motor vehicle, and We came up with very many resolutions.
The decision signaled possible relief for commuters who had spent hours stranded at bus stations and highways across affected towns. Following the announcement, some transport services slowly began returning to the roads, although heavy traffic and tensions remain in several areas. Even with suspension of the strike, the images from the morning painted a picture of a country struggling with frustration over rising living costs. From burning barricades in Thika to stranded commuters in Nairobi and cautious businesses in Eldoret, the demonstrations exposed the growing pressure facing ordinary Kenyans. As Kenya watched roads reopen slowly after hours of paralysis, one message remained clear from the streets: the pressure over fuel prices is continuing to shape daily life across the country. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Reader, Kering Chibet. The morning began with confusion, silence and long lines of stranded commuters across some of Kenya's busiest transport corridors. Before sunrise, sections of Thika Road already started experiencing unusual traffic build-up as matatu operators stayed away from the roads and protesters moved into key junctions carrying stones, tires. By 6 a.m., transport in parts of Thika had almost completely